Ravi was 15 and already used to being invisible at school. He walked through the gate with his head slightly down and his bag held close. His uniform was clean but old, and the cloth had become thin at the elbows. He did not complain, because his mother worked hard just to keep him in this school. He believed silence was safer than attention. Ravi lived with his mother, Sita, in a small room behind a row of shops. The walls were rough, and the ceiling fan made a tired sound at night. Sita stitched clothes for neighbors and sometimes cleaned houses when orders were slow. Ravi helped after school by carrying grocery bags for a nearby store. He studied late because he wanted a future that did not feel like a locked door. At school, Ravi sat at the back, near the window where he could see the trees moving outside. He liked that seat because it felt calm. He listened carefully and wrote notes neatly. He did not have fancy pens, but he kept his handwriting clear. Teachers liked his work, but they rarely called him because louder students always took the space. Ravi did not mind, because he was focused on passing exams and staying out of trouble. Anya studied in the same grade, but her life looked like a different world. She arrived in a shiny car with a driver. 2 guards stood near the gate as if the school was an airport. Students turned their heads every time she walked past. Some admired her, some envied her, and some just wanted to be noticed by standing close to her. Anya wore the same uniform like everyone else, but even then people could feel the difference. Anya did not act proud, and that confused many students. She spoke politely to teachers and kept her voice soft. She did not join gossip groups, and she did not sit with the popular crowd. She seemed careful, like someone who had learned to trust slowly. Ravi noticed this from afar but never thought about it too deeply. He assumed rich people had their own problems, and he had his own. One Monday, the school held an assembly after lunch. The sun was bright, and the students stood in lines on the ground. Ravi stood with his class and kept his eyes forward. He heard whispers behind him about Anya's father, Mr. Mehta, who owned big companies and had power in the city. Some boys joked loudly, trying to sound fearless. Ravi did not laugh, because their jokes sounded sharp and cruel. After the assembly ended, students moved toward classrooms and stairways like a rushing river. Ravi walked toward the corridor that led to the library because he needed to return a book. On the stairs near the science block, he saw a small crowd. At first he thought it was just noise, but then he heard a voice that made his stomach tighten. The words were mocking and rough, and they were aimed at someone. Ravi slowed down and looked carefully. Anya stood near the stairs with her books pressed to her chest. A group of boys formed a half-circle around her. One boy leaned close, blocking her path. Another boy smiled wide as if he was enjoying a game. Anya's face was still, but her eyes looked tense, like she was trying to stay strong without showing fear. The boys said she thought she was special, and they laughed. They said her father could buy everything, so she should buy friends too. They teased her voice and her quiet nature. They spoke as if they were brave, but Ravi could see it was not bravery. It was bullying hiding behind laughter. Students nearby watched from a distance, and some pretended to check their phones. No teacher was close enough to hear clearly. Ravi felt a heat rise in his chest. He wanted to walk away, because that was what he always did with problems that were not his. He told himself he was poor and powerless, and he should not invite trouble. But his feet did not move in the direction of escape. He remembered his mother's tired hands, and he remembered how she told him to stay honest, even when life felt unfair. He also remembered how it felt when people looked through him like he did not exist. Ravi stepped forward slowly. His heart was beating so loudly that it felt like everyone could hear it. His palms felt cold, but his voice came out before he could stop it. He told the boys to stop. He said they were wrong and they should move away. His words were simple, but the corridor became quiet for a second. Even the boys looked surprised that someone like Ravi had spoken. One boy laughed and asked Ravi who he was to speak. Another boy pointed at Ravi's shoes and made a joke about them. The group laughed again, louder than before, trying to crush Ravi's courage. Ravi felt embarrassment burn his cheeks, but he did not step back. He stood between them and Anya, keeping his shoulders firm. His legs wanted to shake, but he locked his knees and stayed still. Anya looked at Ravi with wide eyes. She did not speak, but something changed in her face. It was like she had expected everyone to stay quiet, and now she saw someone refusing to do that. Ravi did not look at her for long. He kept his eyes on the boys, because he did not want his courage to break. He told them again to move away and let her go. The boy at the front stepped closer, trying to scare Ravi. Ravi's breath caught, but he did not turn his head. He thought about how fear always wins when everyone gives it space. He did not want fear to win today. The boy pushed Ravi's shoulder lightly, testing him. Ravi did not push back, but he did not move. The corridor felt heavy, like the air itself was waiting. At that moment, a teacher's voice shouted from the end of the corridor. A strict teacher named Mr. Sharma walked toward them quickly. The boys backed away as if they had done nothing. They tried to smile and act innocent. Mr. Sharma demanded to know what was happening. The boys spoke over each other, saying it was just a joke. Ravi stayed quiet because he did not want to create more chaos. Mr. Sharma looked at Anya and saw her tight grip on her books. He looked at Ravi and noticed the way Ravi was standing, tense but calm. Mr. Sharma told everyone to return to class. He warned the boys and wrote down their names. The crowd broke apart, and the corridor began to move again. Anya walked past Ravi slowly, still silent. As she passed, Anya whispered a simple thank you. Her voice was soft, but Ravi heard it clearly. He nodded once, not trusting his own voice. He watched her walk away and then turned toward the library. His hands were still shaking, and he felt both scared and strangely light. He did not know what would happen next. He only knew he had done something he had never done before. That evening, Ravi went home and found his mother folding clothes on the floor. She asked how school was, as she always did. Ravi hesitated, then told her what happened in the corridor. Sita's eyes widened with worry, because she feared trouble from rich people. Then she placed her hand on Ravi's head and told him he did a good thing. She said courage should never depend on money. Ravi ate his simple dinner and opened his books, but his mind kept returning to that moment on the stairs. He wondered if the boys would come after him. He wondered if Anya's father would hear about it. He wondered if he had made a mistake by stepping into someone else's problem. Yet deep inside, he felt something new growing. It felt like self-respect, and it felt stronger than fear. The next morning, Ravi woke up earlier than usual and felt a strange weight in his chest. He washed his face with cold water and tried to calm his thoughts. His mother noticed his silence and asked if he was feeling unwell. Ravi smiled lightly and said he was fine. He did not want to worry her before school. As Ravi walked toward the school gate, he felt eyes following him. Some students whispered, and some pointed quietly. News of the corridor incident had spread faster than he expected. Ravi kept walking and reminded himself to stay calm. He told himself that truth did not need shouting. Inside the classroom, Ravi took his usual seat near the window. He opened his notebook and tried to focus on the lesson. But his mind kept drifting back to the stairs and the angry faces of the boys. He wondered if they would try to corner him again. He also wondered if Anya was feeling safe today. Anya entered the classroom a few minutes later. She looked around briefly and then took her seat. Her posture was calm, but her eyes searched the room for a moment. When her gaze met Ravi's, she gave a small nod. Ravi returned it without smiling. That simple moment made him feel a little stronger. During the first break, Ravi stayed in the classroom and revised his notes. He did not want to go into the crowded corridors. Anya remained inside too, sitting quietly at her desk. After a few minutes, she stood up and walked toward Ravi. Her steps were careful, as if she did not want to draw attention. She thanked him again for what he had done. She said not many people spoke up for her. Ravi felt awkward and told her it was nothing special. He said anyone should do the same. Anya shook her head gently and said not everyone had that courage. Ravi did not reply, because he did not know how to accept praise. From that day, students began watching Ravi differently. Some still mocked him, but their voices were softer now. Others looked at him with curiosity. A few even greeted him with respect. Ravi did not change his behavior. He still spoke little and focused on his work. The boys who had caused trouble stayed away for a few days. They watched Ravi from a distance and whispered among themselves. Ravi noticed them but did not react. He knew reacting would only feed their anger. He stayed calm and steady, just like his mother had taught him. That evening, Anya told her father everything in detail. Mr. Mehta listened while sitting in his study. He did not interrupt her once. His face stayed serious, and his fingers rested still on the desk. When Anya finished, the room felt very quiet. Mr. Mehta asked for Ravi's name and background. Anya told him what little she knew. She said Ravi was poor but kind and brave. Mr. Mehta leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes for a moment. He was a man who dealt with big problems every day, but this small story touched him deeply. The next morning, the school received a call from Mr. Mehta's office. The principal was informed that Mr. Mehta would visit the school. Teachers became alert, and the atmosphere changed. Students whispered excitedly about the powerful man coming. Ravi had no idea about any of this. During the afternoon, Ravi was called to the principal's office. His heart began to race as he walked down the corridor. He feared punishment or questioning. He remembered his mother's worried face from the night before. He took a deep breath and knocked on the door. Inside the office sat the principal and Mr. Mehta. The room felt heavy and formal. Ravi stood near the door with his hands folded. Mr. Mehta looked at him carefully from head to toe. His eyes were sharp, but not unkind. The principal explained why Ravi had been called. Mr. Mehta then spoke and thanked Ravi for standing up for his daughter. Ravi listened quietly and nodded. He did not speak unless spoken to. He felt small in that big room, but he stood straight. Mr. Mehta asked Ravi why he had interfered. Ravi answered honestly and said he could not watch someone being treated badly. He said he did not think about who she was. He only thought about what was right. Mr. Mehta studied Ravi's face closely. There was a long silence after Ravi finished speaking. The principal waited nervously. Ravi kept his eyes lowered. Mr. Mehta finally smiled slightly. He said Ravi had a strong character. He said courage like that was rare. Mr. Mehta then said he wanted to help Ravi. He spoke about support, opportunities, and resources. Ravi listened carefully but felt uneasy. He had never received offers like this before. He wondered what help would cost him. Mr. Mehta asked Ravi if he wanted anything. The room became silent again. Ravi felt his heartbeat in his ears. He thought about his life, his mother, and their struggles. He knew his answer needed to come from his heart. Ravi lifted his head and prepared to speak. His voice was calm, but his words carried deep meaning. He made one request that surprised everyone in the room. Ravi took a slow breath and spoke with respect and clarity. He said he did not want money or gifts. He said he did not want special treatment at school. He said he only wanted one thing for his mother. He asked that she be given a safe and respectful job where she would not be treated badly. The room went silent after his words. The principal looked surprised and shifted in his chair. Mr. Mehta stopped smiling and stared at Ravi closely. He had expected many answers, but not this one. He had met many people who asked for wealth, power, or favors. He had never met a boy who asked only for dignity for his mother. Mr. Mehta asked Ravi to explain more. Ravi said his mother worked very hard every day. He said she accepted any work she could find and often came home tired and worried. He said he wanted her to work without fear and return home with peace. He said if his mother was safe and respected, then he would feel strong enough to face anything. Mr. Mehta felt something shift inside him. He remembered his own childhood struggles and his mother's sacrifices. For a moment he forgot his position and his wealth. He saw only a son standing in front of him with honest eyes. He nodded slowly and said Ravi's request would be fulfilled. He promised to arrange a proper job for Ravi's mother with fair hours and respect. He said she would be trained and supported. He also said Ravi would receive educational support without conditions. Ravi listened carefully and thanked him with folded hands. His voice did not shake, but his eyes carried deep emotion. When Ravi left the office, his legs felt weak. He walked slowly down the corridor and felt the school noise return around him. Students passed by laughing and talking, unaware of what had just happened. Ravi returned to his class and sat quietly. His heart felt heavy and light at the same time. That evening, Ravi reached home and found his mother sewing under the dim light. She looked up and smiled when she saw him. Ravi sat beside her and told her everything that had happened. At first she became worried and asked if he had done something wrong. Ravi held her hand and told her to listen fully. When Ravi explained his request and Mr. Mehta's promise, Sita's eyes filled with tears. She tried to speak but could not. She hugged Ravi tightly and cried softly. She told him she was proud of him. She said he had given her more than she ever dreamed of. A few days later, Sita was called to Mr. Mehta's company office. She wore her cleanest clothes and felt nervous as she entered the building. She was treated kindly and spoken to with respect. She was offered a steady job with fair pay and safe conditions. For the first time in many years, she felt valued. Sita returned home that day with a calm smile. Ravi noticed the change immediately. She looked lighter and more confident. She told Ravi that good people still existed in the world. Ravi felt relief settle in his chest. He knew his decision had been right. At school, teachers began encouraging Ravi more. They noticed his discipline and focus. They gave him guidance and extra learning material. Ravi worked harder than ever. He felt a responsibility to honor the chance he had been given. Anya watched Ravi from a distance and saw the change in him. He looked more confident but still humble. One afternoon, she thanked him again and said her father spoke highly of him. Ravi smiled gently and said he only did what he believed was right. The boys who had bullied Anya kept their distance now. Their confidence had faded. They no longer laughed loudly or blocked paths. Ravi did not feel proud about this. He only felt relieved that peace had returned. As weeks passed, Ravi's life slowly changed. His home felt warmer and more secure. His mother laughed more often. Ravi studied with new energy. He dreamed not of wealth but of stability and honor. Mr. Mehta observed Ravi quietly through reports and updates. He often thought about the boy who had surprised him. He told close associates that courage and values mattered more than status. Ravi had reminded him of that truth. Ravi did not know how much influence his simple request had created. He only knew that doing the right thing had brought unexpected light into his life. He promised himself to remain the same boy who stood on those stairs. He believed that true strength came from kindness and courage combined. Time moved forward quietly, and Ravi continued his life with steady focus. He woke up early every morning and followed his routine with discipline. His home felt different now, filled with calm and warmth. His mother moved with confidence and smiled more often. Ravi noticed these small changes and felt grateful every day. Sita settled into her new job with care and honesty. She learned new skills and followed her duties with pride. People spoke to her politely and treated her with respect. She no longer returned home exhausted or afraid. Ravi saw peace on her face and felt his heart relax. At school, Ravi became more involved in his studies. He asked questions and shared ideas during class. Teachers encouraged him and guided him patiently. His marks improved steadily, and his confidence grew naturally. He did not seek attention, but it followed him quietly. Students who once ignored Ravi now greeted him kindly. Some asked him for help with studies. Ravi helped without hesitation and never acted superior. He believed kindness should remain simple and honest. His calm nature slowly changed the way others saw him. Anya continued her studies with renewed ease. She no longer felt isolated or tense at school. She trusted her surroundings more and spoke with quiet confidence. Ravi and Anya exchanged respectful conversations when needed. There was understanding between them without many words. Mr. Mehta observed Ravi's growth from a distance. He received updates through teachers and school reports. Each update strengthened his belief in Ravi's character. He often thought about how one brave act revealed true values. Ravi had reminded him of lessons wealth could not teach. One afternoon, the school organized a small event to honor student achievements. Ravi was called on stage for his dedication and discipline. He walked slowly and stood with humility. The applause felt warm but gentle. Ravi bowed his head and returned to his seat quietly. Sita attended the event and watched from the back. Her eyes filled with tears of pride. She remembered the days of struggle and fear. Seeing Ravi stand tall filled her with hope. She thanked life silently for this change. As months passed, Ravi began preparing for higher studies. He spent long hours reading and practicing. His dreams were simple but strong. He wanted a life built on respect and stability. He wanted to help others when he could. Mr. Mehta invited Ravi and his mother to his home one evening. The house was large but calm. Ravi felt nervous, but Sita held his hand. Mr. Mehta welcomed them warmly and spoke with sincerity. He thanked Ravi again for his courage and honesty. During the visit, Mr. Mehta shared his own early struggles. He spoke about hard work and values. Ravi listened carefully and learned from his words. The conversation felt human and real. There was no distance between wealth and simplicity that evening. Mr. Mehta told Ravi that integrity was the greatest strength. He said success meant little without character. Ravi nodded and promised to remember this lesson. Sita thanked Mr. Mehta with respect and gratitude. Life continued with balance and purpose. Ravi stayed focused on his goals. He supported his mother and respected every opportunity. He never forgot where he came from. His past remained a reminder, not a burden. At school, Ravi became an example for younger students. Teachers spoke about courage and values using his story. Ravi felt shy but accepted it as responsibility. He believed actions mattered more than words. Years later, Ravi completed his education with dedication. He earned his place through effort and honesty. Sita watched him grow into a confident young man. Their bond grew stronger with every challenge they faced together. Anya moved forward on her own path with strength and clarity. She remembered Ravi as someone who changed her life quietly. They stayed connected through respect and understanding. Their lives followed different roads but shared a meaningful beginning. Mr. Mehta often shared Ravi's story with others. He spoke about dignity and courage. He said real power was choosing what was right. Ravi's simple request had left a lasting impact. Ravi never thought of himself as special. He believed he only did what was necessary. He knew courage came from values taught at home. His mother's strength had shaped him deeply. Looking back, Ravi understood that one moment had changed everything. Standing on those stairs had tested his fear and faith. Choosing courage had opened new doors. He learned that goodness returned in unexpected ways. Ravi continued his journey with humility and determination. He believed in fairness and kindness. He promised to stand for others when needed. His story became a quiet reminder that courage did not need wealth. And so, the poor boy who once stood unnoticed became a symbol of dignity. His life proved that respect was earned through action. His one request had changed many lives. And his journey continued with hope and purpose.